Yes. Hi, everyone. So, good evening, ladies and gents. Thanks for taking the time out to attend this session. Today, we are going to talk about how to get from an idea to an app using no-code solutions and how no-code helps to empower app development. So before we get into this presentation where this is actually going to be a showcase of an application that we've developed for a school, I would like to take a moment to introduce Unico Connect, which is our agency based in Mumbai. So Unico Connect is a full-service no-code agency which specializes in building custom solutions. So we offer mobile app development, web development, UI, UX, and product design services. We've been around for more than 10 years, based out of Mumbai. We've delivered over 100 applications to 200 plus happy customers. And we've had the opportunity to work on different kinds of projects, small to mid to large scale projects, building SaaS products, e-commerce applications, mobile apps, web applications, social applications for customers across different industries. So education, finance, healthcare and wellness, travel and hospitality, and e-commerce. In terms of capabilities, so we come from a traditional tech background, right? And these are some of the technologies that we used to work with previously on the back end, on the front end, on the mobile side. And since the past 3 years, we've moved focus to all the no-code and low-code platforms. So these are some of the tools that we prefer to use. So we've got Xano on the back end, we've got Airtable, we've got WeWeb, Webflow, Bubble, and then we've got Flutterflow, Adalo, and Bravo Studio. So these are some of the prominent tools that we like to use. So now that we're done with the introduction, I would like to now call upon one of our top clients based out of Sacramento in California, the Highlands Charter School. They and today we have Bobby Valentine, product manager from Highland School, who's going to walk us through the journey of the school, how the application came about, what was their experience, and what we've achieved till date, and what are the things on the roadmap.
Thanks for the introduction, Malay. Hi, everyone. My name's Bobby. This is me, but with a lot more hair. I'd like to talk about the school first, what needs the school had, and then we'll talk about the path we took to develop the product that is now well adopted across the school. We're the second largest charter school in California. We serve adults, 22 and older, predominantly who've been left behind or their lives have been seriously disrupted. So we have a lot of students that were just as involved. We have immigrants, refugee populations who have relocated to Sacramento. We are in the business of educating them. High school diploma, we're a workforce solution school, so we provide career training opportunities, and a good deal of our students are also doing English learning. In the last year, it's grown massively, in part thanks to the application success. We have over 14,000 students, over 500 staff, and campuses that vary in size. We have nearly 70 and growing rapidly. We had an interesting problem during COVID. We had a lot of students, many of whom depended on funding support from government agencies as a part of their obligation. They needed to demonstrate they were still going to school. Well, it was shelter in place here in California, and we didn't have classes for a while. Okay, no problem. We're going to get onto Google Classroom and just say hello. Just put some sort of message, and that will count as present. Everything will be good. The total percentage of students that did that, despite their obligation, was less than 10%. It was a disaster. Why is that? Our student population is incredibly diverse. Language barriers are not trivial. So in any given classroom, we would have 9 different languages spoken: English, Ukrainian, Farsi, Dari, Spanish, all together in the same space. Predominantly, our students had low digital literacy as well. We have many students who come to the States, join our classes, and they don't know what a mouse is. Never seen one before. Ages is quite various. The average age of our student is older than the average age of our teachers. Average age is 42. And their needs are different. So in a classroom, you may have a husband and wife from Central America who have escaped war, and terrible conditions, maybe in Venezuela. You may have an Afghan mom. You may have a Ukrainian engineer. And they're all trying to get through the process so they can succeed in the States. So we decided we needed a technology solution. So I set forth to build an application that would connect students and teachers so that they could fulfill their obligations to the school, to the agencies that they depended on, an application where they could communicate with each other, and also an application where it'd be very easy to get the resources, services, and support that we made available. We needed to make it very easy for them to access that. And we had to make it simple. So the school started sometime back, 2013, and we had about 1,000 students in 2016. In 2021, we introduced a prototype of the Brain product. Of course, when you're building your products, you can use NoCode apps to validate your product. So I started out by using a product I'm sure many of you are familiar with, Adalo. Adalo was a great tool for us to use to just build out a solution quick, get it to our market, which is our students and staff, and determine what we needed to do. The back end for that, it didn't serve our purposes even early on, so we immediately moved to a product that was young at its time, Xano, for a back-end solution. That experience happened to be so good that we adopted that product in whole shortly thereafter. I also used a product many of you are also maybe familiar with, which is Integromat. Now it's Make. That was very useful in order to create quick automations based on services that were outside of the core application. Among development, it's been quite fast, and I'm going to go through some of these to highlight. There are over 42 features in the application. We'll talk about 6 or 7 of them to highlight what you could do with the combination of your current services, frameworks, but also the no-code tools, a lot of which are showcased here. Here's a couple of features that the application now does. We have an attendance integration, so we've integrated the app with a powerful, a prominent student information system in the States called PowerSchool, and so that's deeply integrated. When we do our school's entire attendance through the system. As a matter of fact, it has dramatically increased the revenue that the state is able to get because the true positive cases of attendance is higher, meaning that we are more likely to count the students that are actually there as there. Beforehand, we were doing it with paper. A lot of times we missed a lot of students. Now nobody's missed, which serves the school, but also the students that need to demonstrate that. We have a single-touch staff support system. Every student has their own dedicated counselor, their teachers, their para-educators, their language navigators, tech support. Before, it was very difficult for them to know who to ask and what to ask them. So now we have a simple button, request help. It generates a support ticket for that staffer. Phone calls, the average time is 2 minutes between the request and the first call. We also have a task management system so that staff could teachers can assign assignments there, and it can be all tracked within the application. We offer a method for online classes. The teachers may just tap a single button so that it can become hybrid. They can do their in-class session, and it can also be streamed to any students who are working remotely. A resource bank, this is a single tap option, but let's say 2 taps. One of the things we learned as a school is that the students we serve, if the resources are not available to them, they will not succeed. Their entire history before was not having the resources or having that fragility of losing the resource and having a series of consequences from that. We had to fix it. So the application makes it very simple for them to get clothing, food, housing, healthcare, eyeglasses. We have over 120 resources on there now for them. That's one touch away. And then we needed to simplify what they needed to know today. So we have a consolidated feed page, which discusses new events, new classes, and then also what they need to be responsible for today. They can RSVP, they can join directly through the app. We'll talk about one specific feature, how we used NoCode, low-code to solve it. So we discussed how in any given classroom, you could have the Ukrainian engineer, the Central American family, and the Afghan grandmother. Well, you might imagine how class chats could look in that case. Well, in the best of case, it could be a mess, and in the most likely case, it wasn't happening at all. We wanted to fix that. So as a layer on top of every chat, so the chat between students, group chats, classroom chats, between the teacher, between the student, we added a layer where the student may tap the message. The message can generate for them a reader, so it has a bouncing color so that they can keep pace and learn the language. They can replay that message with a text-to-speech. It has speech-to-text inputs. But also we've added something we call Grammar Master, which identifies all the parts of speech, its syntactical dependencies, it color codes them, and then it compares the language they're trying to understand with the language they're comfortable with. This gets us around the curious confusion in English learning classes where the teachers often think we need to teach our students grammar, when often the case it might be the slowest way to acquire a new language. This allows them to develop the understanding intuitively of what syntactical parts and grammar is on there without having to learn what a past participle it may have to be. To do it, we used 2 OpenAI services, ChatGPT and Whisper. I think those have been discussed a lot here at this summit. We use a partner we have come to really love, Xano, and they are all over this summit for good reason. We use a framework for chat to dramatically decrease the development time for that called Stream Chat. And then we funnel that into the interface for the Highlands Brain. Wanted to share just a minute to talk about how we're using our low-code tools to develop an app that has class and event check-in. So for starters, we have a campus geo-tracking system. Every time a student enters, dwells in, and exits a campus, it makes a record. Those records help deliver nudges, notifications to both the student and the staffer in order to confirm that we've marked their attendance. And if we haven't, hey, be sure to do that. Hey, we noticed you, it's over 30 minutes, you're not on campus yet. Are you gonna be absent today? Are you still coming in? We have over 8 nudges dedicated to attendance, and the geo-tracking combined with the scanning system enables that. When students come in, they can either use a QR code or we have an NFC tap. In fact, in the schools within the next month, we're adding physical NFC buttons so that students can check in parallel. This will be really valuable. We have some classrooms where there are over 100 students trying to get in at the same time. We're trying to make that as fast for them as possible. They tap, they scan in. The teacher gets to see at the end of the day all of the scans that happen. They may manually add. They can select it. The student sees a wonderful little check-in sign and they get confetti. It makes it so that they feel like they've succeeded by just showing their digital ID. It's become very simple. We also have a series of agreements that we've used low-code and no-code to accomplish for them as a simple experience. Every class they need to take, when they need to sign a waiver to go to the wellness center, those are normally physical forms. You can imagine the Afghan grandmother trying to understand what that needs to do. Our application translates those agreements into the native language of the student and provides them a simple tap to imprint their signature and for the application to generate a physical document that emails to all counterparties. One-time signature and approved. Likewise with resources, suppose I am the family from Venezuela struggling to make ends meet and we are in desperate need of housing support. We can simply go here. In this case, we want to get a free checkup. A lot of our students do not have medical care and we need to do the things to make it possible for them to make it through their entire journey. For them, it's simple tap, and that's all they need to do in order to get full care from the school. Attendance, the staff side attendance is, they get full granular control of all the logs that come in, what they may do with it, and they can partition logs. This used to be very complex for our staff, and now it has reduced total time of their work from about 40 minutes per day to 4. Wanted to share how this is used in action, not just in the classroom, but we recently had a great event called the Around the World event. It had over 4,000 attendees, and those attendees were tracked with the Highlands Brain. It was a great time. We had built using, in Xano, by the way, with tasks, cron jobs, all the fixings that they already provide as a part of their product, a way to generate attendance for them, also provide nudges to the staff of who came and who to discuss with afterwards, but also to promote this before any of that happened. Who here celebrates Halloween at all? Okay, most people. In the States, every October 31st, we do Halloween. 2 years ago, we provided an event where you bring your car and your family will give you candy. It's called Trunk or Treat. Well, that year, 90 students came. The second year, we promoted it in the Highlands Brain app, and we got 1,100 people. It actually caused traffic conditions at our primary campus in Grand. It was a huge problem, but it was a champagne problem. And it was because we were able to promote through our application. So what's the impact? We have over 3,600 daily users. We have 11,000 monthly users. I'm very happy with those numbers, and they continue to go up. We have about 5 to 6% growth rate month over month, given our of daily users. The chat system, once we added the layer, once we started using the method that incorporates Xano, incorporates OpenAI, and incorporates Stream Chat as well, we have about 71% of our user base, active user base, that uses the chat daily. Our attendance metrics have increased, even though the rate of enrollment has stayed the same. English acquisition has increased. We have a full-fledged learning reports method system, so a whole bunch of reports that are required to stay compliant in the state that I won't bore you with. But the average time used to take 20 hours per month for the teacher to do this work obligation. Using the no-code tools and on our application, we've reduced that total time from 20 hours to about 45 minutes. And we have a 4.8 on the Play Store, so that's not bad. But when we're talking about an application that's doing well, We can talk about where we were. We can talk about where we are. But hey, with the kind of tools that we've got to enjoy and discuss here at the summit, we can also talk about where we're going. Now, just want to take a minute to appreciate that these are not trivial features, and yet this is a part of the 90-day roadmap. Voice and video calls, one-to-one, group calls, that NFC tagging method, so we can use the physical tags as an alternative method to streamline check-ins both at events and in classrooms. The school has adopted the Google Pixel Fold, which is an incredible device, but one of the caveats of that is when you open it up, if your app is not optimized for that, it may not be the best experience. So we're going to finish optimizing that for our school's Google Fold experience. We have a dramatic improvement into our reporting system. We have a karma point system that incentivizes our students to do the behaviors that both fit their objectives and the school's objectives. We are developing a flashcarding system that is AI-based. AI-powered dashboards, the insights we can now get from the usage data, the behavioral data, all of those metrics are available, and now we want to make it easily available to the students and the staff. And we're also working to connect the ChatGPT that we're using now anyway, whatever the LLM we ultimately can adopt for any given time, we want to make sure that it's connected to our database so we can ask questions of the database. I'm proud of the acceleration that we've had. Part of it is because of our the benefit, the advantage we get thanks to using NoCode. Thanks for your time. Any questions? Okay, I'll hand it over to you, Millet.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for taking us through the journey for the school. And this is a perfect use case of how no-code, low-code tools can actually make a difference. It solved an important problem for the school. It's provided a platform for students and staff to interact and manage day-to-day operations. And apart from that, I think the most important thing that we take out here from as an agency is that it's actually making an impact to people's lives, right? It's actually benefiting people, and that's something that we are really proud of. And yeah, that's it. All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.